Hello students, welcome to the second session of the July month in our monthly current affairs series, right? So in the second session, as we always do, our governance will be covering, right? Governance. So the 7 sections of the governance will be first the initiatives and the programs, then institutions, then the flagship schemes, then apps and the portals, then we'll be covering the policies are not here in this month current affair, then funds, and finally the state government initiatives, right? Okay, so let's start our discussions on initiatives and the programs. Okay. The first one is Internet Sathi program. So it's a joint initiative of the Google India and the Tata Trust. Okay, Google and the Tata Trust to facilitate digital literacy among the women in the rural India. So rural India and the women. Okay. So in 2015, 1 out of every 10 internet user in the rural India was women. Tata Trust and Google has come together to address this huge gender gap. Why? Only 1 out of the 10 can be a internet user is women, right? 9 people are male. So a lot of gender gap is there, and this problem of digital literacy based upon train the trainer model. So they will train one person and they will the filtration of it, the trickle down digital literacy model, right? The women are known as the internet sathis. So these women, the trainer will be known as internet sathi and work as trainer to help the other women in their village to get started on their internet journey and benefit from it. As of this, there are more than around 82,000 internet sathis, which has helped over 28 million women learn about internet across around 3 lakh villages, right? So trickle down model. So this women will be internet sathi, which will help the other women around her to learn internet and get benefit from it. So Tata and the Google Trust and Tata will be training this women. Next is Operation Thrust. So Operation Thrust, from the name itself, thrust means water. So something related to water will be there. It's an all India drive by the Railway Protection Force to curb the menace of selling an unauthorized packaged drinking water in the railway station. Okay, the packaged drinking water in the railway station. So RPF has launched Operation Thrust, an all India drive to crack down selling of the unauthorized packaged drinking water. Okay, and they have found many of the people, because one of the scams that has struck the railways last year about the rail neer. You must be knowing rail neer, right? So unauthorized rail neer was found. In fact, one of the board member of railways, one of the important officials from the railways, was involved in this whole scam. So just remember Operation Thrust by the RPF, okay, in the Ministry of Railways. Next is Port Integrity Campaign. So from the name itself, integrity at the port level to reduce and in the long run eliminate the integrity issues and bottlenecks to trade during the operations in the Indian ports, who by the collective action of MANC, the government of India, the international organization, and the local industry stakeholders. So a multi-stakeholder work will be there. You can see what is MANC, that is Maritime. Just one second. Maritime Anti-Corruption Network, a global business network of over 110 companies working to tackle corruption in the maritime industry, has announced the launch of the Port Integrity Campaign in the India. Okay. Next is Angikar campaign, really important one. I'll remind you, Angikar will be really important for your prelims examination. Okay, so by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, a campaign for the social behavior change focusing on water and energy conservation, waste management, health for beneficiary of the completed household under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana through community mobilization. Okay, so it will be rolled out in all the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana cities. So what they're basically trying to do, for example, you'll see here. So the housing has launched, just one second. The ministry has launched, Housing Ministry and Urban Affairs Ministry has launched the Angikar campaign, a move aimed to bringing the beneficiary of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana urban, okay, into the fold of other central schemes such as Ujjwala and the Ayushman Bharat. In fact, it has been observed that the penetration of the government scheme has been better in the rural areas as compared to the urban areas. That is why the new phenomenon of urban poverty is happening. because many of the people which are living in the rural area who come to the city for the migration with that is migration for employment opportunities, and the opportunities face a lot of problem in getting the government schemes done. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so the people convergence, so the focus is on convergence, would especially focus on Ujjwala for gas connection, Ayushman Bharat for health insurance to the beneficiary of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So it will be rolled out in all the cities of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. It will be initiated in all the target cities on the 2nd October 19 and culminate on the Human Rights Day of 10 December 2019. Okay, Angikar campaign, really important for this this year prelims. Next is Speaker Research Initiative. So this initiative has been taken by the started by the Sumitra Mahajan, the previous Speaker of Parliament, Speaker of Lok Sabha. Okay, launched by Indian Parliament and to provide SDGs related insights, not by the government. Okay, SDG related insights. So the Speaker Research Initiative is a brainchild of Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan. It was inaugurated in 2015 by Mr. Modi. Seeks to assist the Parliament members in playing a more effective role in lawmaking, parliamentary debates, oversight of governance, and respond to ever increasing, even more complex issue of national and international importance. So empowerment of the legislators. Okay. Next is Diksha Arambh. Diksha Arambh. Diksha Arambh. So from the, it's a Hindi word, but if you decode it, Diksha means some sort of knowledge and Aram means starting. So the HRD ministry, MHRD ministry has released this Diksha Aram. It's a UGC guide to student induction program. So at the time of the Arambh, that is the starting of the student into a college, this particular thing will be serve as a guideline. So to help new students adjust and feel comfortable in the new environment, inculcate in them the ethos and the culture of the institute, expose them to the larger purpose and self-exploration, all these things. A school induction program engages with a new student as soon as they come into the institute before the regular class starts. Obviously, whenever you join a particular institute as a job or in a college, you get an induction ceremony, right? So this will act as a guide from MHRD, student induction program. Okay, socializing, associating, governing, and experiencing. Right. Okay. Next is Integrated National School Education Treasury, INSET. National. In this particular session, we have many of the initiatives. I'm trying to include many of the initiatives from the MHRD ministry. Okay. And in the next series, I'll try to introduce other ministry. Okay. And at the end, we'll try to provide you but the ministry-wise initiatives as well. So, Union HRD Minister announced about setting up of INSET. Okay, Integrated National School Education Treasury. It's a seamless information network for all parameters relating to the school teachers and schools in the country. Okay, so a seamless information network for all the parameters relating to the students, teachers, and schools in the city, in the country. So the aim is to create an easy, accessible, multi-layer ecosystem of information school-wise. So information, the data, we'll see many initiatives which are specifically focusing on data. You must have heard of this adage. I have repeated it many times. What get measures get improved, right? So then how do you do the measurement? By having a real-time data, very verifiable, very accurate, real-time, right? Data is available. So information school-wise, block-wise, district-wise, constituency-wise, state-wise, and region-wise. Using this, the parent will be able to inform the education authorities directly in real time if school administration provides the incorrect detail about the infrastructure, teacher, or teachers are indulging in the absenteeism. So the parents and the government connect will be there, right? So there is a parent, there is a government, there is a school. So parent will be able to communicate with the government and grievance redressal kind of thing can be done with respect to school. Okay. So one of the key aspects of INSET program would be cleaning up of obsolete or incorrect data through feedback from stakeholders, which include general public. So the school itself is providing some data. Okay, these teachers are there, these teachers are there. Now that will be verified by the parents. Okay, this is really the scenario or not, or there is a nexus between the teacher themselves that they will be pursuing their own agenda. they will not be providing accurate information at the administration level. Next is quality mandate in the higher education. So we'll see some of the verticals being introduced by the UGC. HRD minister launched 5 documents developed by the UGC. The UGC has developed 2 documents for the higher education for 5 verticals quality mandate. First is Satat. Satat. Okay. So what is Satat? The framework for eco-friendly and sustainable campus. So basically the quality mandate, they're talking about environment, they'll be talking about ethics, they'll be talking about the quality, they'll be talking about the evaluation, right? So Satat is the framework for eco-friendly and sustainable campus development in the higher education institutions, encourage university to adopt the policy to enhance the environmental quality of the campus. So the environmental quality of the campus has to be improved, right? Environmental quality. UGC has also developed the policy framework guideline for inculcation of human values and the professional ethics. Human values and the professional ethics, and this is called Mulya Pravaha. Okay. Next is guidelines for Guru Dakshata, a guide to faculty induction program. So just like we have seen student induction program, so there will be a faculty induction program. This is what is saying. To program will fulfill its main objective to motivate the faculty to adopt a learner-centered approach, ICT integrated learning, and a new pedagogical approach to the teaching and learning, right? Guru Dakshata. Next, higher education quality improvement program. So evaluation will be there. Higher education quality improvement program aims at evolving the higher generation with vital skills, knowledge, and ethics for leading a rewarding life. Okay. Benefit to in order to make student assessment more meaningful, effective, and linked to the learning outcomes. The report is very timely and beneficial for the higher education institutions. Okay. So Guru Dakshata, Satat, Care, will see evaluation reforms. So these are the UGC guidelines. And this is the Care, Consortium for Academics and the Research Ethics. So they will help in the ethics journals in the ethics itself. They will try to come up with the research in the promoting the academic and the research in the ethical department. For example, we'll see one of the initiative also that reduces the plagiarism, right? Many of the things are copied. One researcher copies from the other researchers, right? So for that we need some UGC has come up with this Care initiative, right? So anything can come in the exam. Next is leadership for academicians program. Okay, LEAP. So UNHRD minister launched LEAP program for academicians under the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission for Teachers and the Teaching. Very long name, right? Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. So within this program, they have launched a leadership for academicians program. Okay. So it will be a 3-week leadership program training for the second level academic functionaries in the public funded higher education institutions. Okay. Training program. So it will be implemented through 15 higher education institutions. So the leadership will be taken by these like IIT Kanpur, Roorkee, Banaras, Hindu, Jamia Millia Islamia. Eligibility condition: 8 years of professor, 3 years of administrative experience. Not too much important, I'll say. Okay. So the objective is to prepare second tier academic heads who are potentially like to assume the leadership role in the future. Okay. So grooming the mentors, grooming the teachers, that is the idea. Okay, to fulfill the long perceived need of preparing senior faculty such as dean, HODs for future governance role as the leader in the academic institutions, equipping them with skills, problem solving, handling stress, team building, conflict management, and all these communication. So they are thinking in a very holistic way, first at the top leadership as well, then the teachers, then the students. Okay. Next is Shodh Shuddhi. So as I was telling you, plagiarism, right? So a Union HRD minister launched a plagiarism detective software in which it will be detected. So implemented by InfliBidNet, an inter-university center of UGC. Remember that. Aim to improve the quality of the research outcome by ensuring the originality of the idea and the publication of the research workers. One of the problem in our research capability is a copy theory. They copy the content from the one to the other. Okay, and the patent shopping. must read about this. Patent shopping is also done. So they will try to copy the idea of other rather than going for the original research. So initially 100 university and institutions they are being provided with this surveys. Okay, so abhi 1000 universities, so 1031 member institutes are there, this much user, and around 3 lakh documents have been submitted for the checking. Okay, next is facilitation through margdarshan, and there is a margdarshak. So remember there are two things, margdarshan and then margdarshak. So why in the news? HRD minister launched AICTE initiative of facilitation through Margdarshan and Margdarshak. What is Margdarshan? It's an institution having a good accreditation record. Highly performing institution are supposed to mentor the newly 10 to 12 potential institutions. So Margdarshan is one institution helping 10 to 12 other institutions. The Internet Sathi program, remember, something same model. So one institution will be empowered to help the other 10 to 12 education institutions to education institutions, right, in developing their infrastructure, developing the pedagogy, structure, governance, and all these things. These institutions are also provided with fund up to 50 lakhs per institutions over the period of 3 years for the purpose. Next, margdarshak. So shak is there, person. So mentor teachers or margdarshak who are either serving or retired but willing and motivated with a good knowledge of accreditation will be identified. These margdarshak will be regularly visited to the mentee institutions. Okay, so there is an institution margdarshak and there will be margdarshaks, margdarshan, margdarshak, and they will be going in these institutions to help these institutions out, right? Margdarshan and margdarshak. So category for margdarshak must have a PhD, should be from technical domain and minimum experience, all these. Okay, not important for you. So the next is EGMARK online system. To conduct the quality control functions through EGMARK online system, certification of authorization, domestic, printing press, permission of laboratory, services related to laboratory information management will be provided online. Remember Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. So EGMARK online system, all these things will be provided, right? Okay. Next is Kisan Vikas Patra. It's an important thing. So it's a certificate scheme. It should be in the economy section, but still, it's a certification scheme from the Indian Post Office as a small savings certificate scheme in 1988. Very old scheme. It was in the news in 2016 because of economic survey. Economic survey said because of the many things, because of the small savings schemes, and they have given the example of a Kisan Vikas Patra. Because of that, the transmission of the monetary policy is not happening. Okay, the transmission of the monetary policy is not happening, right? And that is because of the high saving rates, small saving rates in the these schemes. So to encourage the long term financial discipline in the people. In fact, Kisan Vikas Patra has been touted as earlier, has been used for the money laundering purposes and the tax evasion purposes as well. Okay, but that's for the mains purpose. For us, 2014 amendment was there. The tenure for the scheme is now 118 months, that is 9 years and 10 months. The minimum investment is 1000 rupees and there is no upper limit. Kisan Vikas Patra. Because the UPSC has been asking previous schemes, for example, lead bank scheme, they have asked. So you can expect the questions on these lines also. Okay, so availed in the denominations of these, and rate of interest is not important. There is no maximum limit. This much is you need to know. Okay. Next is TISC, Technology and Innovation Support Centers. First of all, you need to remember it is not from Niti Aayog. Okay, because this question, if the question comes this, then the first option will be it is from the Niti Aayog. So just make a different diagram itself, that which are the initiatives taken by the Niti Aayog, right? So it is from the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, along with the WIPO, that is World Intellectual Property Organization. It helps in local innovators and creators research and market their products. Okay. So India's second one is established in the Chennai. Okay. So DIPP, Ministry of Commerce, Government of India signed an institutional agreement with this. Not much important. Just remember that what is TISC is. It's not only in India and although other countries also. So WIPOs WIPO's Technology and Innovation Support Center program provides innovators in the developing country with access to the locally based high quality technology, information and related service, helping them to exploit their innovative potential and to cater, protect and manage their intellectual property rights. Okay. Next is Innovate India. Innovate India is by Niti Aayog under the Atal Innovation Mission. So a unique platform to display, promote and recognize the innovation happening across the nation. Okay. It has been launched in collaboration with Atal India Mission, Niti Aayog and mygov.in. Okay. So you can see very innovative things they are putting. They are providing a platform, so on that these innovation can be there, right? And the good platform, in fact, to if someone has a really good idea, they can put it here. It will be verified and it will be put on the website, and those who are interested to provide scale to this idea can coordinate with these people. Really good idea. Next is India Innovation Growth Program 2.0. Okay, so you can see DST, Lockheed Martin and Tata Trust, and this is important, right? In unique tripartite initiative, tripartite, three parties are there, right? Department of DST, and that under Government of India, then Lockheed Martin and Tata Trust. So there is a foreign partner, there is an Indian partner, and then the government. So unique tripartite initiative of, again repeat, DST, Lockheed Martin and Tata Trust, India Innovation Growth Program. It enables innovators and entrepreneurs through the stages of ideation and innovation to develop technology based solutions for tomorrow. Technology based solutions for tomorrow. So it's a unique tripartite initiative of this supporting the government's mission of Startup India and Make in India. This enhances the Indian innovation ecosystem by enabling innovators and entrepreneurs through stages of ideation, innovation and acceleration to develop technology based solutions for tomorrow. Okay. Next is Ayush Grid project. Ayush Grid projects conceptualized by Ministry of Ayush for digitalizing Ayush healthcare delivery at all levels. Nothing very tricky. So grid projects by Ministry of Ayush to digitalize everything at the different levels. So they will digitalize it, and that will give the impetus to um, the standardization. That is the problem faced by the Ayush medicines. Okay, they have conceptualized Ayush Grid for digitalizing Ayush healthcare delivery at all levels. Okay. Next is scheme for transdisciplinary research for India's developing economy, STRIDE initiative. Okay, scheme for transdisciplinary research for India's developing economy. So UGC has approved STRIDE, a new scheme for strengthening the research culture and innovation in the colleges and the universities. It's an advisory committee has been set up um, um, set up by the UGC under the chairmanship of Professor Bhushan Patwardhan to oversee the entire scheme. So scheme is STRIDE. So components, there are three components of the scheme. First component is it will endeavor to identify and motivate the young talents with the research and the innovation. Second, it will encourage the collaboration between universities, the government, the voluntary institution and the industry. Okay, first budding people, then collaboration, and then finally it will fund high impact research projects in humanities through national network of eminent scientists from the leading institutions. So third stage, the funding will be provided. So research projects that are socially relevant, local need based, nationally important, globally significant. You can use it in your mains essay or answer writing. We need such kind of research. Next is Urj Ganga, very important for prelims perspective. Urj Ganga gas pipeline project. The gas pipeline project aims to provide piped local cooking gas to the resident of the Varanasi and later to the millions of the people in the states like Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal and Odisha, implemented by GAIL. Gas pipeline project aims to provide pipe cooking gas to the resident of the Varanasi, later to the million of the people in the states like you have to see the map of this. Okay, so starting from the Jagdishpur and two lines, first go to Haldia and from Bokaro it will go to the Dharma. Okay, that is why Jagdishpur, Haldia and Bokaro Dharma natural gas pipeline, and UP, Bihar, West Bengal and Odisha. Okay, and also okay. So this is the gas pipeline network under Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga Yojana. This is also linked to the fertilizer, revamping of the fertilizer infrastructure in India, because fertilizer needs a lot of input of the natural gas. Okay. Okay, natural gas will now flow to the eastern India. GAIL. Next is Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan, launched in 2015. It's a convergent framework across the school education and higher education to motivate children of the age group from 6 to 18 in learning science, mathematics, and technology through observation, experimentation, inference drawing, and model building. So, Avishkar Yojana, right from the childhood, okay, convergent framework across the school education and higher education to motivate children of the age group from 6 to 18 in learning science, mathematics, technology through observation, experimentation, and model drawing. I'm just repeating it so the reinforcement is there. Okay, it is similar to Atal Tinkering Labs. So Atal Tinkering Labs are related to the Niti Aayog, Atal Innovation Mission. Remember that, right? We'll see Atal Innovation today in detail. Next is National Mission on Libraries. It's a scheme for providing the financial assistance for upgradation of the infrastructure of one state central library and one district library in each as the model library. Okay. To detail, public libraries function under the administrative control of respective state and union territory. There are 6 public libraries under the administrative control of the Ministry of Culture. So the National Mission of Library will be, they will try to provide the infrastructure for the improvement of this library. If you are UPSC aspirant, now you realize the importance of library in the reading room, right? They're spreading like anything. And the students who want to avail, for example, financially, if someone is not able to avail the services, he will go to the government library. But the infrastructure is really poor. If you have been to a government library, it's been, the chairs are really old, or they're wooden chairs, not comfortable to sit. The timings are really odd and things like this. Okay, so just remember, it's under the Ministry of Culture, and this is what you have to keep in mind, Ministry of Culture. Next is Inspire program, innovation in the science pursuit for the research, under Ministry of Science and Technology. Ministry of Science and Technology. Conceived in 2008 by Department of Science and Technology, it selects promising research scholars under 32 and offers them a salary of 80,000 per month as well as the annual grant of 7 lakh. So, innovation in the science pursuit for the research. From the name itself, it is very clear, right? So, they want to pursue, they want to motivate the people, especially the people who are doing MTech, right? Or who are promising, who can have a promising future in the research. So, picking them up and giving them money, because many a times we switch, with even the good individuals do not like to pursue research because of the money issue. They'll get a better money if they get a job, but government wants to involve them in the research so that the innovation architecture of the country improves. So they have a different scheme. These much is not important for you. Okay, just remember the Ministry of Department of Science and Technology under Ministry of Science and Tech. Next is Emergency Response Sanitation Unit. Okay, so concerned by the incidents of working dying while cleaning sewers and septic tanks, the Union Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry has asked the state and union territory to set upon the lines of the upon the lines of the fire service station. Just like every district has the fire service station, similarly they want a emergency response sanitation unit. Okay, so with a population of more than 1 lakh. It will include the trained cleaners wearing the protective gears. Why? Because many of the cases have come where the people without wearing any protective gear, bare body, enter into the septic tanks, and many a times they die because of the sudden explosion of the methane gas, and they are not able to take breath, or some fire incident happens. Many deaths have been reported. Okay, so on the lines of the fire service station. Okay, next is PISA, that is Program for International Student Assessment. This is really important again. So first of all, it is conducted by OECD. We'll see OECD today. So in the next session, international affairs session, MHRD decided to end the boycott of the PISA formally. So we had a PISA in 2009, then we skipped, then we skipped in between. In 2012 and 15, we performed really low. In 2018, we skipped. We did not participate in this PISA. India has stayed away from the assessment when it was ranked abysmally low in 2012 and 15 and in 2009 also, right? So unlike 2009 when the Tamil Nadu board and Tamil Nadu and Himachal went for assessment, so the assessment of done of Tamil Nadu and Himachal, not of the whole country. This time the government has request OECD to assess the Chandigarh in 2021. Okay, so they will be assessing the Chandigarh, not PISA, about PISA. Okay, so the international assessment that measures the 15-year-old students reading, mathematics, science, literacy, and even innovative subjects like collaborative problem solving and money literacy. So they will check the they will assess the 15 years old on these parameters, right? It is conducted every 3 years, first conducted in 2003 by OECD. Okay, so this one is not really important. What about India in 2009? We had a very poor rank, Tamil Nadu and Himachal Pradesh. Now, just to remind you, OECD, PISA in 2021, and only Chandigarh will be only this, yeah, only the here only Chandigarh will be assessed in 2021. Remember that. Next is Eklavya Model Residential School, EMRS. Okay, so in the budget in the 2018 it was revived, but it's an old scheme. So Central Board of Secondary Education has extended the deadline for applying the affiliation to the EMRS for the tribal students till 20 June. This one is not important. About the scheme itself is important. So background of the scheme that it was introduced in 1997-98 to ensure the tribal students get the access to the quality education in the remote tribal areas. Features: apart from the school building, including the hostel and the staff quarter, the provision of the playground, students lab, and all these things will be done under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Okay, the revamp of the scheme in 2018, as I told you, December in 2018 is for revamped. In the budget itself it was announced. So EMRS will be set up in every block with more than 50% ST population and at least 20,000 tribal persons. So there will be a school in every block which has more than 50% of the ST population and at least 20,000 of the tribal people. There has to be an EMRS. Okay, so thereby around 462 school will be set up in addition to the 288 already. So increasing the architecture of the school education. It will be an autonomous society under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, similar to the Navodaya Vidyalaya Samitis to run the EMRS. Okay, so this is the EMRS. Now we have seen the initiatives and the programs. Now we'll come to the institution part of the discussion. So the first institution we're going to see, Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan. Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan. So why in the news? The Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan will prepare a disaster response team for disaster risk reduction in collaboration with NDRF. So that is why they were in the news. Okay, PIB news. Background: so Nehru Yuva Kendra established in 1972. Later in 1987, it became a Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan. Not too much important. Important is this portion. It's an autonomous organization under Ministry of Youth and the Sports. That's all. It's the largest grassroots level youth organization in the world. Okay, it channelizes the power of the youth on the principle of voluntarism, self-help, and community participation. Over the year, National Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan has established a network of more than 623 district centers. So what you need to remember: Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and autonomous organization. And this is the that prepared disaster response team for disaster risk reduction collaboration with NDRF. Okay, to take the as per providing opportunity for the development of their personality and their skills. And this is all stuff of India Air book, right? And we are covering it with the institutions in the governance part. Next is National Board for the Wildlife. It's a statutory body. Remember, statutory body under the Wildlife Act 1972. Its chairperson is PM, not the MOEFCC minister. So vice chairman is that minister. So remember, NTCA, who is the head? NTCA's head, MOEFCC, Tiger thing, and this National Board of Wildlife is Prime Minister. Why? You can see the work also. The adjudicates on the industrial projects, the route diversion on or the like that could encroach in the protected area or the eco-sensitive zones of the forest. So the this statutory body takes care of this. Yeah. So the clearance, so green clearance. So in 2014 plus, when the new government has come up, we have seen a lot of go aheads with the projects on the in the ecological fragile region, because before 2014 the policy paralysis, one of the argument of the policy paralysis, because the project approval rate was really slow, because especially if the project is going through an ecologically vulnerable region. Next is National Data Quality Forum, NDQF. Okay, so Indian who has come up with this forum, there are many institutions, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, Institute of Medical Statistics in partnership with the Population Council. In fact, Niti Aayog, Registrar General of India, and other institutes are also involved. You can see Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is also involved. Okay, so function is, you can see function here, it will integrate the learnings from the scientific and the evidence based initiatives and the guide actions through periodic conferences. So basically they are trying to work on the data in the healthcare sector. Its activity will help establish protocols and the good practice of data collection, storage, use and dissemination that can be applied to the health and the demographic data. Okay, National Data Quality Forum, from the name itself you cannot judge that it's a related to the health forum, right? But it is important that you need to remember that I told you what is important, in which from the name itself you cannot decode what is the purpose of it. Okay, so the goal is to improve the health and the demographic data ecosystem in India, strengthening the data quality as well system that create and manage data. Okay, next is Press Council of India. Many times in news, especially when the media becomes a really talking point of everyone in India, whether it was the excessive ultra-nationalism, whether it's the current news, some exaggerated news on the coronavirus. In fact, not exaggerated, the wrong news on the coronavirus also. What is it? Press Council of India is a statutory body in India that governs the conduct of the print media. Only the print media, not the electronic media. Remember that. And that is one of the problem with the Press Council of India as well. And remember, it's a statutory body. So two things to remember: chairman usually headed by a retired judge of the Supreme Court, 28 other members, 20 are representation of the press and other nominated by the press organization and the news agency. Okay, Press Council of India is really important, is a mechanism to regulate the press itself. Okay, GST Council. So GST Council is a really important institution, and under article it's a constitutional body. First of all, constitutional body. Okay, so under article 279A. Okay, so for making recommendations for union and the state government on the related to the GST, chaired by Union Finance Minister. Other members are Union State Minister of Finance or the minister in charge of the finance of all the state. So there are three members basically: Union Finance Minister, Union State Minister for Finance, and finally the person in the state who is in charge of finance, or the person who is there taking charge of the financial related things. Okay, so these are the three people. Yeah, this one is important. I think you know it, just for the revision. So center, the voting percentage, center has only 1/3 of the votes in the council, while the states have 2/3. However, the decisions cannot be taken till 75% of the votes are reached. That means that if only the center votes in favor of something yes, and all the states vote no, this thing will not be passed, right? So center needs the collaboration of the states, and states also need the collaboration of center, right? States can only put up 66% and center has the uh, remaining 33%. So all the states want to move or something, they will not be passed if the center will not be cooperating. So this figure that they have come about, that is why it is said to be one of the examples of the cooperative federalism, where the center and the state have to cooperate, negotiate, talk to each other. And that is the problem faced by the other institution like interstate council, where the conversation is not there. Okay, so also economic survey has also recommended the GST council technology. They have mentioned this keyword GST council technology to tackle the issues of pollution, to tackle the issue of any interstate big issues, right? Pollution, especially they have talked about tackling the air pollution, especially in the Delhi NCR and the Haryana, Punjab, this UP state, including these in the GST Council framework. The water sharing agreement, the water disputes under this GST Council technology. Next is Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. So it's a premier export credit agency of the government of India to provide the export credit insurance service to facilitate the exports from India under the administrative control of Ministry of Commerce and the Industry. Management, a board of directors comprising of the representative of the government, RBI, banking, insurance and exporting community. Exporting community. Okay. So it's a premier export, it's an administrative control of Ministry of Commerce and Industry that you need to know. Okay, that is itself is important. What is important basically, what are the schemes implemented by this particular institution, that will become important. The question will come with respect to that scheme. The first option will be by this institution, you need to remember that. And thirdly, if they ask in a third or fourth point, this particular institution is in which ministry, then it's a Ministry of Commerce and the Industry. Next is Central Groundwater Authority, CGWA. So it's a constituted under the Environmental Protection Act of 1986. So it's an statutory body regulating the groundwater development and management of the country. From the name itself, Central Groundwater Authority, right? One important act is always in the news. That is the Easement Act of 1882. Okay, the provision of the act is provides every landowner with the right to collect and dispose within its own limit all the water that is under his land and on the surface. So what it led to, it's a British time colonial legislation. What it led to, the drilling, the boring. Now the people, what they do in their home, when the when the water supply was not good from the government, they used to get a boring and take all the groundwater from the groundwater. And because of that, the excessive groundwater taking, the tables are falling, and that is why government is planning to get away with this particular act, and this act is a hindrance to it. Okay, it provides the landowner the right to collect and dispose all the within his limit all the water under this land, the land he is owning. Okay. Okay, next is National Water Informatics Center. Okay, so it's a setup as the repository of the nationwide water resource data and provide the latest and the reliable water data through web-based India Water Resource Information System, that is India WRIS. Okay, Water Resource Information System, WRIS. Recently in news because Meghalaya became the first state to provide a draft water policy. The state has also sought integrated water policy of the Meghalaya. Okay, and the work of the data collection will be of the National Water Informatics Center. Next is Jal Shakti Ministry. Okay, so Jal Shakti Ministry has been made the combination of Ministry of Water Resource and Ganga Rejuvenation and the Ministry of Ministry of Sanitation, Department of Water and Sanitation. Okay, so these two ministries have combined to make Ministry of Jal Shakti, a dedicated ministry to oversee the various issues related to the water. It will work. It came in the second Modi government term. Okay, so it will work with the states to ensure that every rural house gets the water by 2024. We'll see some of the schemes as well. We have already seen few, but remaining one we'll see. It will overlook the flagship Nal Se Jal scheme that will provide the piped water to every household. So Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, National Board of Accreditation. So it is one of the two major bodies responsible for the accreditation of the higher education institutions in India, along with the NAAC, NAAC and NBA. These are two major body for accreditation in India. Okay, so under the Ministry of MHRD. Okay, so established by IC, that is All India Council of Technical Education. That is technical education, National Board of Accreditation. Okay, and this much is important for you, nothing much. If any particular news comes to it, then it becomes relevant. Next is Forest Survey of India. So founded in 1981, not important, under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change for conducting the forest survey. Headquarters are in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Okay, Dehradun in the Uttarakhand. Next institution, important institution, that is International Crop Research Institution for the Semi-Arid Tropics, ICRISAT. International Crop Research Institution for the Semi-Arid Tropics. It's a non-profit, non-politician, non-political organization that conducts the agriculture research for development in the dry lands of the Asia and the sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, so that is international, just to reiterate, International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics. It's a non-profit, non-political organization that conducts the agriculture research in the development of the dry lands in the Asia and the sub-Saharan Africa. More importantly, the headquarter. Why the institution is important? Because headquarter is in India. So three institution, big institution headquartered in India: ISA, CDRI, and this is an old one, Hyderabad, Telangana, with the two regional hubs in Nairobi and the Bakamo in the Mali. We'll see today Mali in the international affairs session. We'll see about the Bakamo in the Mali. Okay, so this is the website's in screenshot. That is, we believe in all people have a right to nutritious food and the better livelihood. Okay, through demand-driven innovation. Right. Now we have seen the initiatives and the program and the institutions. Now we will quickly see the flagship schemes of the government. Okay, so the first flagship scheme we're going to see a drinking water for all. Jal Shakti Ministry announced that it will provide the Nal Se Jal scheme. That is the same scheme. Okay, so target of providing clean drinking water to all by 2024. Currently the situation is really not good. 18% of the rural household get the pipe water. State performance vary from 99% in Sikkim to 5% in the UP, Bihar, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and Orissa. To provide the piped water to all households by the end of its second term, the government second term, right? So, providing clean drinking water to all by 20, very Herculean task, really Herculean task. Next is Atal Innovation Mission, really important, Niti Aayog. So, aim is, it has expanded its aim actually. So, first in the entrepreneurship promotion through SETU, that is self-employment and talent utilization. Next, establishment of Atal Tinkering Labs in the school across the country. I told you Atal Tinkering Labs, right? Rashtriya Avishkar Yojana, similar to it. Details under the scheme, Atal Incubation Center can be established either in the publicly funded institution or the private funded institution or in the PPP mode. Okay, so Atal Incubation Center for the entrepreneurship. So if you see, so basically, if it's 4 agreement, we'll also see in detail about this the structure of it, right? So first is Atal Tinkering Lab to promote creative, innovative mindset in the school. Second, Atal Incubation Center, Atal Incubators, you can see here. Atal Incubators to promote entrepreneurship in university and the industry. Third, Atal New India Challenges and Atal Grant Challenges to promote the specific product innovation with social or the economic impact. Okay. And last is Mentors of Change to mentor the students at the Atal Tinkering Lab, Atal Incubation Center and the startups, right? So it is taking up a lot of, and also the whole spectrum they are covering, right from the childhood and to the industry, startups, industry, everything, right? So you can make a good diagram. If the question on the innovation in architecture comes in the mains, you can write the government step in this direction. Just to repeat again, Adult Tinkering Labs to promote creative and innovative mindset in the schools to the students. Tinkering Lab to letting the minds tinker rather than they rotting or just cramming things, right? Atal Incubation Centers to promote the entrepreneurship in the university and the industry and the universities. Atal New India Challenges and the Mentors of Change. So putting with the help of the mentors, the same model. Today we have discussed the same model, right? Many times the model, Internet Sathi scheme and different models. Okay, Margdarshak and Margdarshan schemes. Atal Innovation Mission. Okay, next we grant 20 lakh rupees to set up Atal Tinkering Lab in your school. Next is really important program, Aspirational District Program. Actually, this is already been asked in the UPSC mains, but just to reiterate it. Okay, by Niti Aayog to quickly and effectively transfer some of the most underdeveloped district of the country by mass movement or Jan Andolan. So basically, the most underdeveloped country will be, if to improve upon them, will be a low hanging fruit, right? So the low hanging fruit will be the getting improvement in these districts. And really important, earlier the schemes like backward religion grant fund was there, right? Now they can see the change in the attitude of the government also to seeing these districts not as backward but as aspirational districts, right? So that the maximum impact of the policy can be felt in these districts, and really they are gaining a lot of impact. A lot of attention, a lot of dashboard based KIP have been done on this. Okay, the whole program focuses on the convergence of the government schemes. We'll see. So first we'll see this, then okay. So by Niti Aayog to quickly and effectively transform the chosen districts, at least one from the 28 states, including Goa. The broad contours of the program are, so not all the states, that is convergence, collaboration and competition. What convergence of the all the schemes, whether it's central government scheme, a state government scheme, convergence of the all scheme. Because one of the problem faced by the chronic underdevelopment of this area is the overlapping of the schemes. Okay, so there will be convergence of the central and the state scheme. Second, collaboration of the central and state level prabhari officers. The IS officers will be appointed to particular place for the particular district, and they will take care of it. They will take care that convergence takes place or not. And the lastly, the competition of the district driven by a mass movement, that is community driven, including people as partners, right? So that is the transformation of aspirational district program is there. So they have identified key information indicators, like 5 sectors have been identified. That is very generic: health, nutrition, education, agriculture, basic infrastructure, financial inclusion, and the skill development. So it will focus on the strength of the each district and identify the low hanging fruits for immediate improvement and major progress, and the rank the district. So district also include the LWE affected districts, that is left wing extremism affected districts are also included, and the responsibility of those districts will be of the MHA, not Niti Aayog. Okay. Okay. Next is this the dashboard I was talking about. So how much change has been done, in all the parameters. So this is what they are doing. The change, that this is the competition thing. District A to district Z. The ranking of the district is also being done. Okay. Next is, so based upon the feeling of sabka saath, sabka vikas, and now sabka vishwas as well. Okay. So next is Kiran scheme, really good important scheme. So knowledge, innovation and the research through nurturing. Knowledge, involvement in the research and advancement through nurturing. An umbrella scheme for the women specific schemes in the science and technology. So one of the problem that women face in the STEM industry, that discontinuation, marriage or transfer of the husband, you can see. Just one second. One of the problem faced is the relocation due to marriage, the transfer of husband to another location with the country, attending ailing parents, accompanying children in the different cities, and that led these women to go out of the scientific research. So the Kiran scheme is there under one umbrella scheme, that is Kiran. Okay, Kiran is addressing various issues related to the women scientists. Okay, aim to provide opportunities in the research, technology deployment, demonstration. Okay. Kiran is also involved in the making of proactive measures under the name of Curie to develop the state of all infrastructure in the women university in order to attract, train and retain the promising girls in the science and technology domain. So women participation of women in the science and technology. We have discussed one important point, that the research should be society relevant, right? Society relevant, and address the local challenges, and that can happen more successfully if the women are participating in the innovation architecture itself, because they are said to be the first responder. They are said to be the person who is facing the most effect of the phenomena like climate change and all the other disaster or anything. So they need, if they are involved in the research thing, then it will improve the outcomes. Next is international cooperation schemes of by the MSME sector. Okay, MSME sector. So MSME sector is implementing the international cooperation scheme, objective to enhance the competence of MSMEs, capturing the new markets for their product, exploring new technologies for improving manufacturing capacity, Okay, the Ministry of MSME is implementing this particular scheme. This much is needed, not too much. You should see, because other schemes we have done that are more relevant. Next is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. So the implementation period, the mission will be implemented during the 2015 to 2022. The goal to achieve the goal of the housing for all in the urban areas by 2022, when the nation completes 75 years of its independence. Eligibility: all the statutory towns as per the census 2011 and the towns notified subsequently would be eligible for the coverage under the mission. Okay. Features: under it, the central assistance will be provided to the urban local bodies and the other implementing agencies through state or union territory. For now, these four are the element of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. First, the in situ rehabilitation of the existing slum dwellers using land as a resource through private participation. In situ rehabilitation of the existing slum dwellers using land as a resource through private participation. Second, credit link subsidy. Okay, so subsidy on the credit you take for the home. Third, affordable housing in the partnership. Subsidy for beneficiary-led individual household construction and the enhancement. You can see here also. It has 4 components: rehabilitation of the slum dweller, promotion of the affordable housing through credit link subsidy scheme, affordable housing in partnership, and subsidy for home construction and the enhancement. So depending upon where in which income gap you lie, you are in the low income gap or the middle income not group, low income group or the middle income group, there you will be having this particular option. Okay, and this is how you can take it. Now the government has also come up with a portal on this. Okay, we have discussed already that portal. Okay, the funding, the central link subsidy component will be implemented as a central sector scheme, while the other 3 will be centered as the centrally sponsored scheme. So we'll discuss that. What is the difference between central sector scheme? I'll tell you, central sector scheme means 100% contribution by the central government and 0% from the state government. Centrally sponsored scheme, generally it is 60-40. For other northeast state and then the Himalayan state is 75-25 generally. Okay, and also 90-10 is also there, depending upon other different schemes. Okay, so central sector scheme is basically the schemes where 100% central government is funding, right? And the central state, the state contribution will be also there. A home for, the vision is to have a home for every Indian by 2022. Next is Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana. So providing free of cost distribution device to senior citizen belonging to BPL category and suffering from any of the age related disability, low vision, hearing impairment and all this. Okay, status is a central sector scheme. Central sector scheme. Now you get it? Now 30% of the beneficiary in each district shall be women. Now they have decided that the 30% of the beneficiaries should be women. Okay, and so providing assistive devices to the BPL citizen launched today. Implemented through Artificial Limbs and Manufacturing Corporation, a PSU under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So this scheme is Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Okay, first of its kinds in the country to address the disability like low vision, hearing impairment, loss of teeth, and locomotive disability. Okay. Next is flagship scheme is Paramparagat Kisi Vikas Yojana. It's an elaborated component of the soil health management scheme of the major project, a National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, NMSA. National Mission of Sustainable Agriculture is an ultimate umbrella scheme under which this particular scheme is there. Under then Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, what is Paramparagat? That is traditional. They are focusing on the organic farming. Organic farming is promoted through the adoption of the organic village by the cluster approach. Okay, and the certification. Okay, so that is Participatory Guarantee System for India, PGS. But the problem with the organic farming is, again, as I told you about the Ayush scheme, Ayush medicine is the standardization and the marking of it. For example, if I produce rice in my backyard, I'll say it's an organic product. So there has to be some standard so that the organic product can reach up, can take the premium things, premium cost. Okay, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, comprehensive centrally sponsored scheme launched to promote the organic farming. We implemented in the cluster based approach. Okay, so they will provide some money to the clusters. Okay. Okay. So the idea is objective, you know everything, environmentally, this thing, that thing, reduce agriculture input, promote doubling the farmer income and all these things. Just remember here, Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmer Welfare under Ministry of Agriculture and the Farmer Welfare. Okay. Next is Bharat Mala Pariyojana. Bharat Mala Pariyojana, you know, that's a road scheme basically under Ministry of Roads and the Transportation, Road Transportation and the Highway. New initiative like development of the, so they first of all it subsumed the unfinished part of the National Highway Development Program. So earlier this program was running on National Highway Development Program. Bharat Mala as an umbrella scheme will cover all these things within its domain. Okay, so focus on new initiatives like development of the border and the international connectivity, coastal and the road connectivity, So Bharatmala has a very strong convergence with the other scheme named as Sagarmala. Okay. Coastal connectivity, improving the efficacy of the national corridors and the economic corridors and the others. Okay. So this is the structure, this is the final structure. They want to make it very tricky, right? So basically this is the final thing. So Bharatmala connecting India like never before. So they want some economic corridors. For example, Delhi Mumbai economic corridor. Another economic corridors are also in the domain. Inter corridor and feeder routes, national corridor efficiency improvement, border road and international connectivity. Okay, coastal roads and coastal connectivity is also there. So the question, they can confuse you that Bharatmala and they'll give you this option that the coastal connectivity is also important part of it. So now you understand, no, it was in Sagarmala, so it is wrong. No, it is also included in with this way. Greenfield expressway, like what is greenfield? On the really new expressway. For example, earlier a highway is this, so expressway can also be made by including more lanes on this. But greenfield means right from the scratch itself. Okay. Next is the Pahal scheme, really famous Pahal scheme. Okay. A lot of praise has been given to the government for this particular scheme. So aim to reduce the diversion and eliminate the duplicate or the bogus LPG connections. Benefit under the Pahal scheme, LPG cylinders are sold at the market rate and subsidy will go to the customer. So very easy. Earlier what used to happen, the cylinder, this is the customer, this is the citizen, right? And let's say this is the company. So let's say the market price of this particular cylinder is 800 rupees. The government is saying that you pay only 500 rupees because 300 rupees we are subsidizing. So earlier the cylinder goes to go to the customer and he used to pay 500 rupees, and the government will provide the 300 rupees to the company. Now what happens? The customer pays 800 rupees and government pays this 300 rupees to the beneficiary's account on the model of Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile. Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile. Okay. So you can see, you can pause this and read. You know all this. I think gas comes in everybody's home, right? So you know how it is happening. Very famous scheme. So now we are done with the flagship scheme. Now we'll quickly wrap up our sessions with the remaining three things: apps and portals, then some of the funds that we read, and finally the state government initiative. Only 2 initiatives or 3 initiatives we'll cover. Okay. So the first thing we're going to see in this, first show the Gangotri, and along with that we'll see Shodh Ganga also, and also then the difference between the two, very subtle difference is there. Okay, first Shodh Gangotri. Under this initiative, the research scholar and the research supervisor in university could deposit an electronic version of the approved synopsis submitted by the research scholar to the university for registering themselves under the PhD program. So before entering into the PhD program, what they have, uh, the synopsis that they have provided, the Shodh Gangotri. Gangotri is the first stage, right, of the Ganga, right? The opening of the Ganga, the origin of Ganga is from Gangotri, right? So Shodh Gangotri. Shodh means research. Shodh is a Hindi word. Shodh means research. Okay. So so this is Shodh Gangotri, Indian research in progress. Now we'll see Shodh Ganga. It's a digital repository. In fact, it's a really good reservoir of Indian thesis. I told you in the earlier videos as well. If you want to search some content out, go to Shodh Ganga. Really, really good research. It's a digital repository of the research scholars across the university and institutes to deposit, reuse, and share their thesis and dissertation in digital formats, including the scanned documents. Now, sometimes not in PDF, proper PDF, but sometimes in the scanned PDF format. Okay, it's a digital repository for that. Functions, it provides a platform for research students to deposit their PhD thesis. So remember, Shodh Gangotri is before coming and Shodh Ganga is after it. Okay. So Shodh Ganga, reservoir of Indian thesis. Okay, really good portfolio. If you want to add some content on your optional, you can have the this portal. Okay, so just to summarize it, so Shodh Ganga and Shodh Gangotri. So Shodh Gangotri is an initiative that complements the Shodh Ganga. Obviously, while Shodh Ganga is a repository of full text thesis submitted to the universities in India, Shodh Gangotri holds the synopsis of the research topic submitted to the university by the research scholar for registering themselves from the PhD program, and that's the difference. Okay. Next is Lakshya. Lakshya, the full form of the Lakshya is the labor quality the Labor Room and Maternity Quality Improvement Initiative. Labor Room and Maternity Quality Improvement Initiative. Who? Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, Lakshya. So, to improve the quality of care in the labor room and maternity operation theaters. So, they're talking about the rooms. Now, Janni Suraksha Yojana and the Suman initiative, they focus on the women, they focus on the child, giving them money. Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, all these schemes. Now, this scheme is related to the quality of care in the labor rooms, right? Okay. So, Lakshya scheme, government has launched Lakshya scheme to improve the quality of the care. Just yeah. So quality of the care in the labor room and maternity operation theatre in the public health facilities, a multi-pronged approach focused at the intrapartum and immediate postpartum period, aim to reduce the preventable maternal and the newborn mortality, morbidity and stillbirth associated with the care around the delivery room in the labor room in the maternity operation theatre and ensure respectful maternity care. Okay. So next is Gandhipedia. So being developed by National Council of the Science Museum. Okay, to sensitize youth and the society about the positive Gandhian values. Positive Gandhian values. Okay. So the two IITs and the National Council of Science Museum has jointly hand to develop Gandhipedia, an online repository of books, letters, and the speeches written by Mahatma Gandhi to commemorate his 150th birth anniversary. The entire project will be done with the help of the AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, so remember that National Council of Science Museum, National Council of the Science Museum. So don't confuse that, it will be under Ministry of Science and Technology. It is Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Okay, Autonomous Society, Ministry of Culture. Next is Union Ministry for Housing and Urban Affairs has launched the following. So many of the initiatives. For example, we have done this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Water Plus Protocol. We have not done that. We have done ODF, ODF Plus, and ODF Plus Plus. Remember, in the October or November month, we have already done that. So this is Water Plus Protocol. So moving beyond ODF, ODF Plus, and ODF Plus Plus, Water Plus Protocol aims to provide a guidelines for city and towns to ensure that no untreated wastewater is released into environment, thereby enabling sustainability of sanitation value chain. So, to repeat, providing a guideline for cities and towns to ensure that no untreated wastewater is released into the environment, thereby enabling sustainability of sanitation value chain. Okay. Next is Swachh Nagar mobile app. It's an integrated waste management app to tackle several issues that hinder effective waste management. Okay, such as lack of monitoring, collection of segregated waste, tracking of the movement of the waste vehicles and waste pickers, and amongst the other. Right. So this is the Swachh Nagar mobile app. Next is AI enabled SBM app, Swachh Bharat mission. It is developed by the National Informatics Center to facilitate the applicants of the individual household toilets under the Swachh Bharat Urban to know the status of their application, the real time of uploading the photograph. Okay, so they have applied for the toilets and the real time information they will get. Okay, so this is Swachh Nagar mobile app, right? And this is AI enabled SBM app. Okay, Gandagi se Azadi, Swachh Sarvekshan 2020. Next is Shagun, really important portal, Shala Gunvatta. Shala Gunvatta. So Shala and Gunvatta. Shala means a place and Gunvatta means the quality. So it's an integrated online junction for all portals, website related to the various activities of the Department of School Education and Literacy in the Government of India. Details. Okay, so it's an integrated online junction basically. Okay, the website of 1200 Kendriya Vidyalaya, 600 Navodaya Vidyalaya, 18,000 CBSE affiliated schools will be integrated with the Shagun. Okay, the portal seeks to connect approximately teachers, 92 lakhs teachers and 626 crore students. Shala Gunvatta, Shagun online junction. Okay, again the same thing was of data. Next is Darpan portal and NGO Darpan NGO partnership portal. So developed by NIC, that is in National Informatics Center, Niti Aayog managing this portal at present. Why? Initiative of PMO, Prime Minister Office, to create a healthy relation between the NGO and the GOI. So basically, you know, NGO, India NGOs are, and especially after 1990s, NGOs are really playing an important role in the developmental journey of India. However, there are still some problems associated with the NGOs and the government relationship, right? So the Darpan portal is there, which gives an opportunity to NGO to work with the government. Government can provide them the funds for specific purposes, right? So to have a repository of the NGOs at a portal, that is why Niti Aayog has come up with the Darpan portal. Okay, to help the government to list the authentic bodies and FCRA registration number and have been blacklisted by any ministry or autonomous body such as NABARD, NCW, or blacklisted by MOWCD. Okay, so basically they want a list of the NGOs that want to work with the government, right, or that want to be registered on this portal. And they will also blacklist, they will see the FCRA, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, registration number of the NGOs will be tracked, and that will give the authenticity to the NGOs as well, that we are registered on the Darpan portal. Okay, so NGO partnership system. So the NGO partnership system portal, that is NGO Darpan, was earlier maintained by Parliament Commission, now Niti Aayog. Okay, so enroll and facilitate the creation of repository of the voluntary organization NGO sector wise and state wise. Okay, this is it. So to apply for the unique ID is mandatory to apply for the grants under the various schemes of the ministry, and this portal will facilitate the voluntary organization NGOs to obtain a system generated unique ID as and when signed. Okay, next is my CIFLET Act, my CIFLET Mobile Act, CIFET. Okay, to help farmers to get precise information regarding the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR. Exact precise information regarding the Indian Council of Agriculture Research developed post-harvest technology, products and machineries. Okay. Next is investigation tracking system for sexual offences. Investigation tracking system for sexual offences. So Home Ministry launched the analytic tool to monitor and track the real time-bound investigation. I'll tell you why. You see, the POCSO Act says that this much punishment will be given and this much will be done. And recently, an amendment has been done to check the sexual crime against the women. Just here, yeah, the amendment in April 2018 to prescribe the stringent penal provision, including the death penalty. All these things are fine, but what is the level of the prosecution? How many people are brought to justice? How many girls or the boys have got the justice under the act? And that is where the problem is. The final report not being submitted, total FIRs are this, and the gaps, so many gaps. So that's what they are saying. They have a system, so they will fast track it. So status, it will be the part of CCTNS. We already discussed CCTNS twice, in fact, that connects over 15,000 police stations across the country. Aim to check the sexual crimes against the women and the children. The central approved that act I told you, which prescribed a time limit for the completion for the investigation within the 60 days. The investigation should be completed within the 60 days. Okay. So this is the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh will launch the investigative tracking system for sexual offence on this occasion. Okay. Next is women entrepreneurship platform to build an ecosystem for women across the India to realize and mentor the entrepreneurship aspiration. So basically, the idea of this women entrepreneurship platform came from the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. We have already discussed that in the international affairs. Global Entrepreneurship Summit that happened in India in 2017, held in India. Recently held in which country? Right, in one first time ever in the Europe country, right? So comment box mein tell me which country, because we already covered that in the previous months. Okay. So idea of the setting up of women entrepreneurship platform to promote and support established as well as aspiring women in India to succeed at this particular summit. Okay. So the idea is to build an ecosystem for women across the India to realize and mentor their entrepreneurial aspiration. Okay. So the idea is to what they will provide the same thing: the skilling, the incubation, the market assistance, the funding, the compliance support, and social entrepreneurship. The focus is on three Shaktis: Iksha Shakti, Gyan Shakti, and Karma Shakti. It's a main stuff, but still I'll cover it. Iksha Shakti means, Iksha means desire. So it represents the motivating the aspiring entrepreneurs to start their business. That is Iksha Shakti. Gyan Shakti represents the providing knowledge and the ecosystem support to the women entrepreneurs to help them foster entrepreneurship. Okay, the Gyan Shakti. Next is Karma Shakti, represents the providing hands-on support to the entrepreneurs in setting up and scaling up of the business. So Karma Shakti represents providing hands-on support to entrepreneurs in setting up of the and scaling up of the business. Karma Shakti. So first Gyan Shakti, first was Iksha Shakti. If they have desire, to channelize that desire. Then Gyan Shakti, give them skill, give them the knowledge of how the system operates. And finally, Karma Shakti, provide them the support to scale up their business, to start their business, right? And if this much is given, then only they can profit about it. We have now we'll come to the policies in the news. We have one policy for you. I was mistaken that I told you that we have no policies today. We have one policies to be discussed, that is National Digital Communication Policy 2018, aim to provide broadband access to all citizens. So National Digital Communication Policy, so the idea is to provide broadband access to every citizen at 50 Mbps by the year 2022. Next, create at least 40 lakh jobs in the new sector, attract $100 billion investment into the country's digital communication sector, enhance the contribution of the digital communication sector to 8% of India's GDP from 6%. So 6% to 8% contribution in the GDP, propelling India to top 50 in the ICT development index of ITU. Now this is why this index becomes relevant. We have discussed in the last time this ICT development index, I believe, of International Telecommunication Union, a specialized body of United Nations, enhancing India's contribution to the global value chain, ensuring the digital sovereignty. Okay. So the cabinet approves the National Digital Communication Policy to connect, propel, and secure India. These are will be used in the mains, but more or less I gave you the important prelim centric information. That is the whole point of our um, current affair series is. So it should be customer focused and application driven. Now we'll see some funds in the news. So first fund is Northeast Venture Fund. From the name itself, what is this? Northeast Venture Fund. So some fund will be provided for the ventures in the Northeast India. So we'll set up by Northeast Developmental Finance Corporation Limited, NDFFI, Northeastern Development Finance Corporation Limited, in association with the Ministry of Donor, Ministry of Donor, that is Development of the Northeast region. Importance is the first dedicated venture capital fund for the Northeast region. Okay. So if you see the primary focus of the Northeast fund, just one second. So if the primary focus of the Northeast venture fund would be to invest in the enterprise focus, not limited to these industries, food processing, healthcare. Rather, it will provide more assistance. For example, investment will typically be in the startups, early stages, growth stage companies with new products and technology, or the innovative business model, which has potential of being a superior value propositions to the customer and the client, right? So if you're writing about the schemes in the Northeast, these things can add value to your answer. Next is very important, Universal Service Obligation Fund. So established in 2002. So this fund is basically, just one second. Let me see here. Fund comes from this fund. How the money comes in this fund? The money comes in from the corporates. The 5% of their, you see, 5% of the 5% charge from all the telecom operators on their adjusted gross revenue, which are then deposited in the Consolidated Fund of India, then require prior parliamentary approval to be dispatched. So this 5% of the AGR goes into the Consolidated Fund of India, then parliament's approved, then this fund is used. Now this fund is being used for the NOFN, that is Bharat Net project. Name has been changed. National Optical Fiber Project. Now the name is Bharat Net project. Okay. So now the telecos obviously seeks, because now they are facing a lot of problems. We have discussed in the economy section, right? Telecos are under huge financial distress. So they seek reduction of Universal Service Obligation Fund contribution and the license fee. Okay, so this particular came into effect 2002. The guidelines were issued by DOT on 2002. The Indian Telegraph Amendment Act was done, and it has provided the statutory status to it. So remember that USOF has an statutory status. That means it is mentioned under the statute, and the money goes to the CFI, that is Consolidated Fund of India. Okay, so this is what we do: provide widespread and non-discriminatory access to the quality Yeah, provide widespread and non-discriminatory access to the quality ICT service at the affordable price, provide effective and powerful linkage to the hinterland, thereby mainstreaming the population of the rural and the remote part of country, ensure that universal service are provided in economically efficient manner and other things. Next, the last section and a relief. So the last section we will discuss the state government initiative. First is Tamil Yeoman. So Tamil Yeoman, it is the recently declared state butterfly of Tamil Nadu. Okay, Tamil Yeoman or Tamiz Maravan, Tamil name I think. So it is the state butterfly of Tamil Nadu. Other details of Tamil Nadu, don't need to just remember this state animal, Nilgiri tar. We will be soon coming up with our impetus series on wildlife series. Now, just for your information, I'll mention in the next session also about impetus series that we have started the lecture. You can see the lecture alongside this current affairs series about the second and the third impetus series, right? So Maharashtra was the first state to declare blue mormon as their first state butterfly. Okay. So we have already discussed the Maharashtra question has already been asked by UPSC in 2016, that which was the state which has declared its first state to declare the state butterfly. So that is blue mormon. So I told you about this particular yeoman species. So just few of the details we can see. Habitat endemic to Western Ghats. They occur in the moist deciduous evergreen forest along with the streams. Size is only 6 centimeter, so 7.5 centimeter. Habit fast straight flight with the few wings, beat and long glide. They lay eggs in the vertical chains of 8 to 10 meters. Number of butterfly hotspots in Tamil Nadu 32. Not too much important. This much is important. Endemic to Western Ghats. Here, just focus on state animal. Next is Mission Kakatiya. So very famous mission. Mission Kakatiya is from the Telangana. It involves the restoration of the irrigation tanks and the lakes, minor irrigation source built by the Kakatiya dynasty. So the inspiration taken from the Kakatiya dynasty. Now your work is to go and read about the Kakatiya dynasty from your ancient history, right? So just yeah. So the tanks such as Ramappa, Paraka and all these names which are built by the Kakatiya resemble seas and greatly helped in agriculture and overall development and prosperity of the Kakatiya kingdom. So taking inspiration from that, government of Telangana has set up a Mission Kakatiya. In fact, this is one of the best case studies for the water conservation. Okay. So positive signs are there that they are able to get some positive outcomes from the particular scheme. So finally, we have ended our discussion. A very long video. It's around I think 1 hour 40 minutes. But governance video will be long, right? Because 30% or 40% of a current affair comprises of the government initiatives only. Okay, so we have seen initiatives, programs, institutions, flagship schemes, apps and portals. Really important stuff. Then policy, only one policy. Then 2 funds and 2 state government initiatives, right? So this is it for the day. And I'll see you in the next class when we'll discuss about the international affairs of the July month. So we'll be covering our 4th month here, right? It's still a long way to go. Please be with us and trust us. We'll try to cover each and every aspect which is relevant from the UPSC perspective. Thank you.